Welcome back to the Smite 2 Founder Series Saturday edition, North America edition. There's two semicolons in that title. We're in our Swiss bracket, and we've got some promotional matches for you here today. My name is Dolson. Trelly is going to be with me, and if you're at home and you're itching for access to Smite, you can use !access in chat now. Follow the steps in there and get your hands on Smite 2 today. Get playing. Maybe we'll see you in the next round of the Smite 2 Founder Series. So that's !access, or there will be a link pinned in chat. And then code Smite2 Esports, all one word, is what you want to enter in order to grab your key to Smite 2. It's a whole lot of fun. Don't want you guys to miss out. And here's a real easy, simple way to get your hands on the game. So, Charlie, we find ourselves here in North America now, and I think some storylines have been established in the first few weeks of our Swiss bracket here. We're in those 2-1 matchups, and this is where you'll see some promotions, but it's not over for the teams that do not win their matches today.
Yeah, exactly. As we've talked about a bunch, trying to get 3 wins is what you want, so you can just go ahead and skip the playoffs. You don't have to deal with the nitty-gritty of trying to qualify yourself in. But 3 losses is when you are going to be falling into that section. We've already seen, I believe, 2 teams fall into that section, and possibly more coming this weekend. I mean, definitely more coming this weekend. Just who those teams will be, still up to be determined. But this matchup in general, I think, was one of the ones I was more excited about. We talked about this Saturday, Friday on somebody too long didn't watch, and should be a banger.
Well, Charlie, the North American bracket has been filled out now over the last 3 or so weeks. Let's take a look at exactly where we stand. So last week's matches were that big middle column. So in a weird way, we're on the downhill slope here in our Swiss bracket. So the matches that we're going to be looking out for this week in North America are in that 4th column. So second to last over there on the right side of your screen. We will be watching Food Drive for Globe and Name in Progress in their best of 3 to start off our day. And then I believe Secret Service and First Name Zach. I'll confirm that on our next screen here. But then we have some 1 and 2 matches, and we'll be watching those tomorrow. I think some surprises here, Trelly. Admittedly, I think Borscht being down in the 1-2 side of the bracket is surprising. That's Baskin, Rat Milk, Pagon, Fino. And then had been Panda Cat. We'll see how that roster shakes out moving into the day tomorrow. But let's confirm the games we're going to be watching today and tomorrow here in North America. As mentioned, we're going to start off with one of the favorites now to promote themselves, and that's Food Drive for Globe. Of course, Karmic, Valo, Globe, Happen, and Tegvir up against Name in Progress, Arc Atlas, Party Person 123. Hard to root against that. Kaidon. How about this one, Trelly? The Grand Penguin Inquisitor.
Ooh.
And Hostile Puppy 601. That's Name in Progress. Their names are not in progress. Their team name's still in progress. And then we'll watch Secret Service versus First Name Zach later on today. And then, as mentioned, some of those 1-2 matches will be tomorrow. But I got to look at this matchup, Charlie. It's going to be hard to root against or bet against, really, Food Drive for Globe in this one. They've been, I think, the surprise of the North American Swiss bracket. And Name in Progress, relatively unknown team, still finds themselves with 2 wins here in our Swiss bracket. But I think an uphill battle for that second team.
Absolutely. You got to favor Food Drive for Globe here, but what I did touch on yesterday is the fact that Food Drive for Globe was able to take a game off of Team Name but with 5 M's last weekend, which looked good, and then they got completely shut out 23-0 in the last matchup. So a lot of what I tried to harp on was, I hope this doesn't kill their confidence, right? I hope getting completely shut out like that doesn't change their performance. They still should feel confident being, I believe, the strongest team that is left in this bracket so far, considering that Cowabunga has already, went on and Team Name with 5 M's as well. So I hope they still come in with that confidence. If they do, it's going to be hard for Name in Progress, but off the back of Party Person and Kaidon, they have been absolutely cooking. So they definitely deserve to be here in this 2-1 spot.
That's right. We've already promoted some of our teams to those playoffs. The winners of our 2 best of 3s here in North America today will also move on to the playoffs. Not over for the losers, though. They'll play in the 2-2 matches for either promotion or elimination next weekend. Why not? Let's start things off here. Let's see how the North American meta versus the European meta shakes out, if that's a thing. We've seen a lot of consistency, Trelly, between North America and EMEA. In the past, it's been that EMEA is a little bit slower, a little bit more controlled, likes those later games, but it feels like we've had a pretty consistent somewhat speedy pace here so far in Smite 2.
I would say so. There hasn't been too many like barn burner 50-minute games. I can count like probably 2 that I can remember off the top of my head. But with that, that's not really the way that Name and Progress in particular like to play. These are the kind of guys that you're going to expect to see.
Yep.
5-man grouping, trying to kill you before the game even starts, and then cringe ganks before level 3. That has been Party Person's MO for sure. And again, I've been extremely impressed with their mid laner Kaidon, who has been hard carrying this squad whenever given picks like Neith. I think had a fantastic game on Hakate as well. I think it was Anubis too. So a lot of picks that this guy can perform on. But with Jingwei and Baron taken away, looks like it's just going to be the Fenrir for Food Drive for Globe. That does leave the Odin and the Bacchus open, which I'd be grabbing up right away. But if I remember Party Person, he also loves to get his hands on this Susano. So could be something they look at.
You're telling me someone named Party Person 123 is not going to pick Bacchus? Surprising to me. Yemoja is the selection. Yemoja ran things in Smite 1, hoping to replicate some of that performance here in Smite 2, our Name in Progress. Baron just recently added to the game here, Trelly, but still outside of that, seems like Bacchus, Odin still really important. Baron, though, taking up that mantle of maybe first ban worthy. I'm looking at Name in Progress's frontline here, and maybe it's just the Smite 1 in me that remembers Yemoja in the days of yore.
If danger
That is
sets
a
foot
brutal
on my
frontline
doorway,
to go up against,
I'll
though,
destroy
if
It's quite
the
simple,
Yemoja in this
really.
game can play it to her potential.
Yeah, I think in Smite 2, just because Phantom Shell gets so much value, Yemoja has become more of a damage dealer, if anything. Like the River's Rebuke, usually it was, okay, I'm going to pop this up, I'm going to spam heal, I'm going to make sure my team stays nice and sustained. I've been seeing a lot of Glad Shield, Soul Reaver, things like that, just to do as much damage as possible. So watch out for those bouncing bubbles. And of course, Bacchus has just become a staple in the solo lane, so very annoying to try and deal with. Hakate and Neith both traditionally played in mid, but you know, I think Neith can be played just about anywhere at this point, so probably just send Neith over to the duo lane. But it's the CERN pickup that I'm not going to scratch my head at. With Jingwei banned, CERN is definitely still decently prioritized over in the duo lane. It takes a bit to get online. The build I'm
Some
still a bit
gods will
confused
never
about because
learn.
I've seen a lot of
But we must
crit,
do
I've
our
seen a lot of
best to teach
intelligence,
them
I've seen a
anyway.
mix of the two, so we'll have to see how the CERN decides to build.
One of these 3 is looking mid or jungly. Typically, it'd be 3 support picks in my brain. Yemoja, Bacchus, Athena. You mentioned, though, that Yemoja certainly can deal some damage. We know Bacchus can as well. So you'll have some supplemental damage in there for sure. Food Drive for Globe. They're going to get a more traditional jungler in the Loki. And this is what always worries me, Trelly, in teams going up against something like a Loki. Because how many games have we watched in the Swiss stage, somehow a tongue twister, where we've seen a Loki or a Susano or something like that just solo carry a game? I think that potential is certainly there for Food Drive for Globe. Valo, very talented jungler. Unless we feel like Name in Progress has something to shut that down.
Yeah, in this case, I'm thinking we just send Athena into jungle, Bacchus solo. That makes the most sense to me, especially now that we see the Anubis. So you send Anubis mid lane, and that is a pick that I've already mentioned Kaidon can absolutely run away with. But to your point, this Loki is still one of the best junglers in the game. I mean, bar none. It is terrifying to try and deal with if you do let the Loki get late game, like level 20, something like that. And now you've probably got the Fenrir support to, try and play through this Neith. That's pretty nasty pressure as well. I talked about how Name in Progress likes to get active early. When you got Athena jungle, it's not as if you have that many opportunities to fight early unless it's around this Anubis, right? The Anubis is probably one of the best like level 1, level 2 fighters you can get if you have some solid CC, which that's pretty much all Athena provides until she gets more itemization online. So I'm excited to see not only how the Athena builds. Again, you have tanky, you have hybrid, you have just full damage. There's a couple ways to play Athena jungle. But also, can you just like sit back and let Anubis do your dirty work? Can you just set up, get the laser eyes off, shred through the whole enemy team? That's got to be the game plan. But can they execute? When you have 3 true tanks on your team, usually can keep your carries alive.
Yeah, and I think from a zoomed out level here, Shelly, again, I still put my confidence behind Food Drive for Globe, but again, that might just be bias of being more familiar with these teams, or with that team, but also what we've seen from them in the first few weeks. Name in Progress, this is the beauty of Smite 2, kind of an up-and-coming roster making a name for themselves. They're 2-1 here. So they have done more than well in the Swiss bracket, and a chance to take game one and get some momentum building in this best of 3. Food Drive for Globe, name in progress, game 1. Kicking off right now, and we'll find out just where all of the picks end up landing.
He's got Radiant Agate. That's clean.
I mean, that is pretty. And that has got to mean a carry performance from
I mean, I think so. That, at the very least, it means he's played Hecate enough to get to level 10. and,
Right.
And that is... I've been grinding, and I have only level 9s at the moment, so that means a Globe.
You're not on that, you're not on the Lermy Wormy, like, what is it? She goes to 10, right? She doesn't,
No, she stays at, like, level 3 to 4 and just gives herself Radiant. I don't do that. I work for my skins, Dave.
Oh,
yeah.
That's blasphemy. Isn't that her thing? She like insta 10s a new god when they come
Oh, no,
out?
you're right. No, in Smite 1, she does that. In Smite 2, she's just given herself every skin, and she doesn't have any of them level 10 yet. I mean, she's a dev. She's allowed to.
But Lermy has put in enough legwork over the years where I think that's okay. You know,
You're right.
I think that'll be all right. So talk to me, Trelly. In the first few minutes of this game here, typically we see the jungles start to make their impact. Of course, Loki, we've seen plenty of carry performances. How does this early jungle matchup look in your mind from the party person 1, 2, 3 versus Valo perspective?
And that's the thing, like, party person, from what I've seen, has been playing hard carry Susano, you know, like getting active early, not want to play for late game styled picks. And Athena, to me, does not do that, especially up against Loki. Like, you don't want to let Valo get to late game, so it's confusing. But if you play around the global presence and are just trying to set up for Kaidon and set up for Hostile Puppy, it can definitely work. I just got to see exactly. I've only seen one other Athena jungle game in comp so far, and it looked fine. But you know, it doesn't fit the playstyle that I'm used to from party person just yet. So I got to see how this plays out. With the gem starter item, tells me maybe some intelligence based build later on. But you know, in Smite 2, jungle builds can be, you know, full damage. They can be hybrid. It could just be one damage item then full tank after. I'm gonna have to see how party person decides to play it.
I'm always a fan. The more eclectic picks happens to be lurking in the wrong side of the jungle.
Nice.
Away just fine. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're in good form today. When I'm not casting the early game and I have a little time to get the brain dialed in, it's a bit dangerous for the folks at home that are watching. But early pressure over in the duo lane for Happen and Tegveer. That'll leave Karmic and Arc Atlas going one-on-one over in the solo lane. Trelly Bacchus. And maybe in Days of Yore. Globe. Oh, goodness! The burst damage. So heavy. Valo's gotten first blood over on the left side of the map, and a blink forward may add their second. And this is the threat of that early game Loki. Oh, the stun needed. Then connects. Happen plus Valo and Tegveer equals a couple kills for Food Drive for Globe over in the duo lane, and it was just shy of a first blood over in mid. Name in progress, so really a brutal start here for them in game number 1.
And see, that's my point, though. You could tell. I mean, I knew before this game started that they were going to want to play through party person and Kaidon in mid lane. You just don't bring that much damage early on with Athena, whereas Valo said, hey, you guys have fun playing around in mid lane. I trust Globe to, you know, get his Aegis off and survive. I'm going over to duo lane, picking up first blood and giving a kill over to Happen, 2 assists over to Tegveer, and now you got a much better start if you are Food Drive for Globe. Again, no Aegis on a Globe now, so maybe you have a regank opportunity in mid. I do want to see if party person tries to get active, because there's not much CC immunity there. Happen forced to blink, a lot of damage coming his way. That's that Yamoja we've been talking about. Pay attention to those bubble bounces, because they will certainly add up. But yeah, you don't go beads. There's no one around that can go for the CC immunity. Look at it.
Whoa, this could go real bad. Oh, wow! It goes bad for Karmic, but now Valo can reap the rewards, a double for the Loki, and it's a killing spree in the first 3.5 minutes of the game. That burst damage from Arc Atlas caught me and maybe Karmic a bit by surprise, but probably not too bothered. He set up a double kill for his jungler. Happen once again, though. Leaping away as the duo lanes battle it out. Over the purple buff. Oh, the root and the damage from Tegveer. Just shy of level 5. Is Happen gonna risk going back in, though? You'd love to have that blink. Had to use it a moment ago. The Mojo locked him down. There's the root and the jump. Oh, Oh my, it's come apart at the seams for Name in Progress. It's a killing spree all across the map. And it's not going to get much better over in mid. Globe dodges it out. Gets the root.
Auto!
This is finally a break for Name in Progress. Good luck breaking it down, Trelly. There's been chaos and bloodshed on the wings of this map here in the last couple of minutes.
Well, first of all, I love that both of our instincts just yell auto as all of us we're barely falling down. I mean, so much damage came out of the solo lane. Yeah, the burst from Bacchus that was intoxicated into the immediate Sunder is definitely enough to surprise you, so Karmic falls down. But after that, you get 3 kills for Valo, 3 kills for Happen. I'm a little bit upset that Tegveer wasn't able to get any of the last hits. I think did the majority of the heavy lifting there towards the damage over on left, but just could not get out in time. You have all... Oh boy, we got another gank coming this way. Ragnarok is available. Who's your target? You got no beats. Pick one. You might be able to get them both if you don't ult the first one.
That's right. Yeah, we'll trade out the ults now. Can happen. Step forward against mid laner ST. No, mid laner ST says no thank you. I'll walk away. That's got to feel good for Tegveer. Finally notch a kill. But dangerous waters here, Trilly, in the first 5.5 minutes of the game. Like I said, maybe I'm a bit on it during these afternoon casts because the first thing that just strikes my brain is Valo and Loki and aggressive support over in duo lane. It's really come to fruition. Too aggressive, though, has happened. Got to be careful when there's an Athena close by, especially when it's underneath their own tower. So that's actually a decent little swing back, Trelly. It's a shutdown. Gold goes into the back pocket of party person 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, just not worth it at all when you're a 3-0 on support. Like, I see that Happen did go Brawler's Beat Stick first item, so truly pretty heavy damage dealing for a support build. But regardless, you don't really ever have kill potential on Takaidon there, and you gave a 3-0 shutdown, as you mentioned, which does not feel great. Valo still stepping up, though, trying to find someone to go on to. Assassinate available, but doesn't seem like party person's got any fighting on the mind. So he's just going to zoom on out of there. Regardless, you still have the Loki as a threat, right? Jotun's Revenge already picked up. Got plenty of cooldown rate. And if you start getting some kills together, works out. But Globe in some trouble. Do you have open the gates? You do. Can you get out in time? Yes. Teleport. Oh, mid laner came too. Oh, but the Riptide gets him out of trouble. I was going to say, that's a beautiful ult just to get yourself out of dodge. But when you pull someone under tower with you, maybe you have some opportunity to fight. Yeah.
Not too shabby. Karmic now peeking out a blue buff invade. But there's going to be a jungler just around the corner. Got to be enough burst damage here. Maybe a stun. Not just out the belly flop. There is no assistance here for Karmic. So it's just a matter of when, and it's now in the Dark Atlas with the second of the game for Bacchus. So Trelly, while the left and middle side of the map going pretty well for Food Drive for Globe, and really it's maybe jungle and left. There's a 1-level lead for Tidon over in mid. Some semblance of hope for Name in Progress over in Soul Lane and over in the mid lane. Need more of this, though. Need Happen to make that impact. Really smart play. Bring the Ragnarok back, but Tegveer still in the pit. And Hostile Puppy 601 pulls another kill back for Name in Progress. We have not started. We started a brief snowball there, Trelly, but the snowball is kind of slowed down now as Name in Progress have found their openings to fight back.
They certainly have. And just, you know, for everyone watching, you cannot clear the Gold Fury pit with Neath. Would be great if you could.
Not an aim issue. That was just
that was just this is the only possible way I could get out if I magically could clear it, so I'm gonna send it out. Right. A little bit unfortunate there, but also, as you mentioned, yeah, Karmic having a bit of a rough time, but I think that's just Ama as far as I'm concerned, as we get to hear the crunching noises of Totem. I think that Ama takes a little bit before she gets online. But once you get some auto attack items, once you get some defense, you're okay versus Bacchus. You just don't love the fighting. Fiend Naga has spawned in, and Food Drive for Globe already going for the pull. Just some extra tank damage towards an objective. Never a bad thing. Hostile Puppy. You can't really farm because you got a good feeling that just about everyone on the map is near the Gold Fury. So I can see why he's just chilling underneath tower for now. But my goodness, Globe, can you teleport out just barely? That was at his own back camp. You're never safe.
That's brutal. And Aegis, thank goodness, Globe didn't need it. Up. Right. now. Was not on, or was not off of cooldown. Only had 5-6 seconds left. So potentially good timing there for Name in Progress, if nothing else. Forced Globe to backpedal away. Have not seen that big opening team fight just yet, and I think that's where we're going to see Valo's strength really come to play, because it's a 3-level lead right now in the jungle trailing, and that hasn't really been realized because it's been a couple ganks early. He's not found that opening opportunity. Could this just be a 2v1 opportunity for Happen? There was a World Weaver in, I'm not sure he needed it. And there's that power we were talking about. Party Person was 3 levels down and comes face first with Valo in the jungle. And that is top gold per minute in the jungle for Valo by a decent margin. So he's getting it done in the kills department, but also that farm trail has just been too fast-paced. And that's the threat, though the kills have slowed down. The gold and the experience have continued to build, especially for the jungler for Food Drive for Club.
So far, that's been the case. Valo was sticking around, but remember, the Queen Naga went down, so you got free tanks to do your bidding over near the Gold Fury. Here comes out Athena, old Tegbeer. Do you want to get landed on by it? Probably not. Backflips away, but already stuck in the river. Tegbeer just wants to fight this.
Yeah, Tegbeer standing and fighting. It's out for Party Person. Globe doing his best to escape as well. Still maybe some burst damage on the front of this fight. Globe has escaped death so many times, but can't do it once again. You're so close to one more kill, and this is a great collapse in from Name in Progress. And Happen's got to get out as well. Arc Atlas makes their way over to left. Valo lurking behind. I mean, Valo's strong. I don't know about 4v1 strong. He's going to come face first, though.
He's got every
puppy.
He's got like every buff on the map, but oh, he's got to get all 4.
Boy, there's something satisfying. There's a nice space for it. I like that there's a little space left for that purple buff. You know, the way it all stacks up just looks so good. What can Valo get done here in a 2v1? Certainly strong, but more speedy than anything else. Again, still keeping me on the edge of my seat here. I'm wondering what the pathing is going to look like for this Loki. For now, it's just getting out and getting away. So really, ultimately, Charlie, what we got to go back and break down is that grouping for Name in Progress. Snatching a couple more kills here against Food Drive for Club.
Got the Gold Fury. That's what they started over. Storm's not went in. Hostile Puppy gets his dash caught. Picked up by Ragnarok. That should be an easy kill, but where do you go after? Karmic with the rotation, able to pick this one up. Gotta be a Gold Fury after Tegbeer clears this wave. Remember, it was Food Drive for Globe that got out-rotated. This time, Name in Progress has to go in for the steal. What ultimates do you have available? You got just about everything but the rivers, and it's getting low.
Big moment here for Name in Progress. And it looks like Food Drive for Globe were able to confirm it. So a chance, but not taken by Name in Progress. Valo, we're going to take this chance and split push down the right side of the map. You're going to have to send a couple to deal with this Loki. Maybe smart play then for Name in Progress to send a grouping over towards the duo lane. Going to be an odd-numbered fight, and Tegbeer is down to half. Party Person a bit slow on the uptake here. What has happened? My goodness! The damage out of Karmic has just sent Party Person running. The Athena has just slowly fallen behind here, Trelly. 4 levels down in the jungle, and 2 levels down to Karmic, who's starting to deal some serious damage, as well as a tower picked up by Valo. That gold starting to build back up after it had stabilized 3, 4, 5 minutes ago.
So far, once again, Queen Naga spawned in, so you can just take your time here and look towards possible Pyromancer later on, if you would so choose. I've been loving this aggression, though, from Happen. Again, that Brawler's Beat Stick I thought was a bit puzzling early on, but immediately into the Ruinous Ankh, so anti-heal was clearly something on Food Drive for Globe's mind. They recognize, hey, we're up against Anubis. We're up against the Yamoja. They are going to have sustain, and we need some way to deal with it. And clearly, Valo did not want to pick it up. So I definitely don't hate the idea of just getting a really aggressive Fenrir support gameplay and then just W-keying all the time. Bacchus very high up here. Arc Atlas might be in some trouble. Looks like he's going to get aggressed on, but where's the rest of the squad? Remember, Defender of Olympus could come in. Athena could join at any moment, but this should be a very dead Bacchus. Yeah, you can't even get the ult off in time.
I'm not sure what the game plan is there. Maybe get Valo low enough that your team can then rotate in after, but Valo's got the assistance. We saw what Karmic could do. Looks like a solo and a 2v1 rather over in duo lane. So this is the risk now for Name in Progress. You want to stabilize, you cannot afford to get picked apart. It's a 4-level lead, but Valo not confident at half HP. Just so awkward, Trelly. Name in Progress now have just sort of lost control of the map. Nowhere on this map seems safe right now. And if you're just kind of losing all of those individual matchups, really at risk of the game getting blown wide open, especially around the next big objective, should you choose to fight.
Seems to be the case at the moment. Just go in for a tier 1 tower over on left. Tegvir can help out with the help of these minions. Will be even more gold going the way of Food Drive for Globe. Almost 10,000. Just by nature of, you know, awkward picks, overstaying your welcome, and of course, letting Valo do just about whatever he wants on this map. 4-0-2, level 16. This Loki is quickly becoming a problem, and an ever-growing problem, I should say, for Name in Progress. But I talked about the Pyromancer, Fire Giant spawning in here any second now. So we could be looking at the right side of the map. But remember, when you have something like a Neath as your ADC, like Tegvir's still stacking, right? You got Book of Thoth already stacked up, but Transcendence still about 17 stacks away, so it doesn't really seem like Tegvir wants to rotate out anytime soon. Just chill over in lane. You will see a rotation from Tegvir, though, towards the Pyromancer, it looks like. And that's something Hostile Puppy just cannot do. 3 levels behind, 2 items to his name. This Cernanos is not really looking to get active anytime soon on this side of the map.
Perfect does get caught out by the River's Rebuke. Burn down kill for Name in Progress. But how about the damage after the fact? Valo and Happen have combined for yet another kill. Loki into the stealth he goes, runs away, nearly pulled back by the Riptide. But this chase has bought time for Food Drive to rotate through. Globe over in from the mid lane, and now it's time for the Hecate to make its appearance. Tegvir also in for dual lane. Man, Name in Progress, they're just getting out-damaged right now, and a double for the mid laner. Tegvir, desperate for a kill. It's been all assists all game long for Tegvir. That'll leave Hostile Puppy over just to shove out duo lane. Coming part of the seams now, Trelly. Still more towers to take. Split up the map. Everyone's strong enough to get their own should you choose. Name in Progress got that early pick, but just could not get out safely.
And see, now it's just, do we do Fire Giant, or do we just all do our own thing for a little bit longer with some low health bars? And again, not a lot of damage coming from Tegvir just yet towards an objective. I could see why everyone just split up. And Hostile Puppy, who essentially has left his team out to dry, and again, I think it was the correct play. Just split push and try and get your itemization online. Was not even able to get like 20% off of that tier 1 tower because Happen rotates over and stops that tower from going down. The Food Drive for Globe is making sure to play this map to where there's almost no comeback potential, right? If Name in Progress can't group up and go for a pull like this, and it's not even for free. Valo's already here. He's onto this.
Valo can close the gap. We'll recap on who wins the Gold Fury in a minute, if there's going to be any confusion about it. Globe ends up getting the kill, but it's Valo who's on a warpath. Happen adds one as well. 3 kills, 3 different players. Food Drive for Globe. They are on it. These rotations in. I mean, maybe that Fury, Trelly, was last hope for Name in Progress here, but Valo and the rest of the team are just going to be able to go back, get it with 3 extra kills. Hard pressed to find a way back into this game, but as casters, we've got to keep that door open, and maybe it's just delaying things and hoping Food Drive for Globe drop the ball, but I mean, this is just happening over and over and over and over again. Nice. 7-1 for Happen in support. Food Drive for Globe are seemingly unstoppable in game 1.
Was that one on purpose or no?
What did I say?
You said this keeps happening as Happen killed him.
Oh, no.
Yes, I gave you a nice and you didn't react. Yeah, that tells me you probably just did that one on accident.
Yeah, on accident. Look, I'm on it, but not that on it.
Party person, I don't think you're making it out of this one. Can anyone get the last hit? Maybe Happen, but Tegvir blocks that one away. Tier 2 tower could be the target. Arc Atlas, this could be a big rotation here. Globe has the possibility to die. Sunder already out. Can you intoxicate? No, the ult's down, and Globe gets to live. I'm trying to find ways, and that would have been a great way. At least a pick on the Globe could have been the idea, but poor Hostile Puppy Day, level 13. I mean, you're just looking for any bit of farm you can find, and oh no. Mid laner is up again. Level 20 was hit from Valo before level 10 was hit from mid laner.
And that was at 1850, by the way, before the 19-minute mark. That is an absurd pace of farm for Valo. Top net worth in the game by a wide margin, about 6,000 for his jungle counterpart. So take a couple tier 3 items and there's your gap. You ever, like, you know, you go to a party and you're all in on it, you're all excited, and then you go and there's like way too many people and you just feel drained?
Oh yeah.
That's what's happened to Party Person here. You know, you're all amped up, you're playing the Athena jungle, you're going to the party, and then about 15 minutes in, you just feel that wave and you sit in a corner and sip on your drink for the remainder of the night. It feels like that's the wall Party Person 123 is hit.
And you don't want your social battery drained this early on, because you still got another game after this one.
Another game to play.
Yeah, you still got another game.
Reprioritize.
Again, I think that it's one of those situations where Athena jungle has to get a lead to be able to work out from behind. She doesn't really tank a lot. She doesn't do enough damage. And Loki is fine with going behind early. And bro's 7-0-4, right? Like, Valo would have been okay just trying to farm up until late game, because that's when Loki can succeed. So I'm not saying it's time to start thinking of a draft diff, but at least keep it in mind when out. Fortune for Kydon. Triple. 3 ults towards the Anubis. And he's not longer for this world. Hostile Puppy is probably going to get ran down by Valo at any moment now over and left. Can he teleport out? No, he's just going to try and run.
Oh, he's just going to farm up. Go,
I would have
check the brush.
I would
check
have
the
ulted
brush.
him. Oh, he just
so
missed
close.
him.
Well, it's, you know, hard to watch it happen too many times. Hostile Puppy avoids your 8th death of the game. Could be the final team fight of the game. Let's see what happens. River's Rebuke just corrals Food Dry for Globe in the middle of the fight. And one by one, Name and Progress are going to get picked off. Turns Globe into a pig for just a moment, but I think Food Dry for Globe have this one in the bag. The 1-7 level 15 CERN is not going to be doing too much here. We're going to be diving fountains. Why not?
Oh, he's gone.
Big shutdown. Valo is not going to live through the game. I don't think that changes much, Trelly, but maybe just delays the inevitable here. That timer's long enough. And in go. Food Dry for Globe one final time. And game 1 is knotted up with a bow. I think.
Yeah, I mean, hey, killing Valo's big. You know, you do get to say, hey, he didn't go undying. A little bit of damage towards the backline while the rest of the squad is just killing Titan. And yeah, again, I do really like the attempt at finding a different way to try and play through the mid jungle. Because again, I've seen Name and Progress try and play through Kydon many times, and it's worked many times. But I just think out of the jungle, you need a little bit more pressure, and you need someone that can scrap at level 1 through 4. Because if you can find that, then you can say we're playing through mid, we have a lead. If you end up dropping that 1 kill onto Globe for First Blood, while Valo is duo killing your duo lane, that was really where things went from bad to worse. I think if you are able to find Globe in that situation, maybe Party Person gets off to a better start and the game goes differently. But again, you're counting on the enemy team making a mistake instead of just putting yourself in the position to like get your team ahead.
I mean, we joked about how the social battery ran dry there, Trelly, for Party Person 123. Again, this is a team that is on the rise, so you're not getting a 2-1 in this Swiss bracket in a very competitive North American Smite 2 Founder Series if you don't have the ability to turn around a set like this. We'll see exactly what Name and Progress have in store for us. Game number 2 of this best of 3 coming up next.
You don't messing around, calling all you freaks and nerds. You're just missing what you want. My brother's going down the drain, my sister's living the dream, but everybody's singing along. It's okay, we'll all soon be gone. Hey, what's the matter with the bright red lights? Hey, in the moment when the world went blind, but everything's alright. We don't give a damn this time. My daddy was a gambling man with no strategy. Who gives a shit about him anymore? Guess we never really settled the score. Half the town screaming out in vain, the other half is fake, but everybody's singing along. It's okay, we'll all soon be gone. Hey, what's the matter with the bright red lights? Hey, in the moment when the world.
And then I said, that's not Bacchus, that's Bilson's mother. That one always makes me laugh. But enough about my weekend. Hey, Goremizer, what's new with you?
Just picked up my Smite 2 Founders Edition.
Very nice.
Purchased it on my preferred gaming platform just yesterday.
Nice skin.
It's Kakademon Ymir. It comes with all Smite 2 gods. Forever.
That's very cool, Goremizer, but that's nothing. Look at this. Nightstalker Neath and Ascension passes for 11 Alpha Launch gods. What do you think?
Geez, that is really super. How'd a nitwit like you get so tasteful?
Can't believe that Bandy prefers Chelly's Founders Edition to mine.
Very nice. Impressive. Let's see JMax Founder Edition.
Look at that avatar, badge and title. The tasteful thickness of Tier 5 Fallen Zeusia. Oh my god, it even comes with Ascension passes for all 23 Alpha gods.
Don't be like this psycho and upgrade your Founders Edition, so you don't miss out on Nightstalker Neath, Tier 5 Fallen Zeus, and Ascension passes for the first 23 gods. Upgrade today.
I stand by it. That is probably my favorite piece of ad media you guys, have maybe ever really created. The acting of it, the voiceovers, the Goremizer talking about the tasteful thickness of Zeus.
The Tier 5 Fallen
The
Zeus,
Tier
yeah.
5 top Fallen Zeus. And not only is it a great piece of ad media, it is all true. You can upgrade your Founders Edition now for varying prices, and of course with that comes varying rewards. Not only will you get access to Smite 2, I think the biggest thing, I mean, if you're not trying to swing for the fences here, that $30 edition comes with all Smite 2 gods forever, which is, as we've talked about with Smite 1, one of the best deals in gaming. Just getting all the characters right away, and then everyone that ever releases is pretty sweet. But then, of course, some really awesome stuff as you progress further. That second tier, Trelly has the Neath skin, and then you get the Fallen Zeus skin with the Ultimate Edition. So keep your eyes peeled, see if something tickles your fancy, and consider upgrading your Founders Edition here today. And we'll keep handing out the baseline edition, so none of those Founders Edition, just access to the game with that exclamation point access throughout the weekend here. Let's talk a bit about game number 1, though, Trelly, because it's Food Drive for Globe, and namely Valo plus the duo lane happen on the Fenrir. A double initiation really took over in game 1, and it felt like Name and Progress just didn't quite have the leg to keep up with that pace.
Yeah, it seemed to be like Name and Progress drafted a composition that definitely could have worked if the game went a little bit better early on, right? Because again, anytime I see a team with Neath and with Loki, I'm leaning towards them late game regardless, just because of how easy it is to pilot these picks. Whereas I think Athena takes a little bit, like going 1, 8, and 6 here is tough for Party Person because he was getting active. He was definitely trying to set up for the squad, but Athena is almost never going to be able to out damage Valo, especially with the start that this Loki had. Just getting it 2 kills immediately over in duo lane, and then as you mentioned, Happen just being able to run that side of the map because of those early 2 kills. Definitely makes Tegvir's life easier as well. So I want to see Party Person on something more like that Susana we've seen from him prior. Maybe even taking the Loki away from Valo. That is going to work a lot better for me, as opposed to going for something like the Athena. Again, Athena's great, and I think can work. It's just you need to do more with it. Whereas, you can just come out swinging with Susana. You don't really have to plan around late game. You can just say, hey, I know this god is going to be able to consistently do damage, even if I got first blood or something like that.
A combined 3 and 23 between jungle and duo lane for name and progress here in game 1. Tells a bit of the story that we looked at. I think for Food Drive for Globe, and this is going to be breaking news, Trelly, more of the same. Feed Valo, see if you can get Happen on something aggressive. Stick with exactly what works for you in game number 1. And it's a lot, not only in this set, it's just a lot of what we've seen Food Drive for Globe succeed with. Funnel a lot of pressure through that jungle, and we've got a really talented duo lane that we're happy about. I think Karmic also swings back into this game quite well on that Amaterasu after what was a sort of difficult laning phase. Let's check out some of those reprioritizations and picks and bans for game number 2 and see if name and progress are dialed in to our stream here. I'm not going to take any of our suggestions into account. And so now that we're still in that ban phase, it's very quick, Trelly, because it's just one apiece. We don't have the full ban conversation anymore. Available in game now, Baron. Is it truly worthy of that first ban slot and worth having that conversation? Because Food Drive for Globe take the opportunity to ban the Baron away.
Yeah, anyone who's not in first pick is pretty much delegated to that Baron spot unless something happens in game number 1 that you're like, oh, we cannot let that through. So Food Drive for Globe, they won game number 1, so they're just going to say, you know what, default, we can't pick Baron, so let's make sure the name and progress does not get it. Last time the Jing Wei was banned away, so could be the first pick, and definitely will be. So name and progress, go ahead and grab that one. Still a great late game carry, but again, you need some facilitation on your squad. You can't just sit back and hit level 20, especially when Food Drive for Globe, especially when Food Drive for Globe comes out swinging early on. So the Fenrir is gone. That takes away a bit of what Happen was able to do to try and facilitate the Neath, but still scary stuff regardless. Could go to Globe in mid lane. That's still a possibility, but we'll hold on assuming it's going to Tegvir for now. And it's going to be the Yamoja. Wow, Bacchus goes unchecked there. That wasn't a pick that Food Drive really cared about regardless, but still high pressure and does a good bit of damage, so it could have been something they were looking at.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll still, sing the praises of Jing Wei maybe over the Cern. Cern's fine, but Jing Wei.
If danger sets foot on my doorway, I'll
so
destroy
here in
it.
Smite 2.
It's quite simple,
Pair
really.
it with a great mid laner for Kaidan Trelly, who again did have a really nice early game there in game 1. Unfortunately, the map around Kaidan just kind of fell apart. But Kate is certainly a strong pick. So you've got your damage dealers taken care of, but it's that secondary question, really the primary question we were asking, around jungle, around initiation, around pacing. Bacchus doesn't answer that question fully, but still such a strong pick that it makes some sense here. Ultimately, the question is, Trelly, you got Yamoja presumably for Happen and support instead of the Fenrir this game. Can you play a similar style? Can you still play that aggressive in-your-face style in the same way that you can that Fenrir, despite the different pick?
No, I mean, you could play aggressive, but not like a Fenrir can, right? Fenrir just brings something different to the table where Fenrir can just strike fear in you immediately by seeing you walk around the corner. Like, I don't have beats. I don't want to be anywhere near that guy, whereas Yamoja, you kind of have to line up the ult in the right situation. Phantom Shell is a lot more accessible, and a lot of other teammates can grab it. Going to be the Anubis for food drive for Globe. So Tegveer definitely could just be taking that Neath, and Anubis could go to the mid lane. With the Loki again. This is what I was worried about. Giving Valo this pick again already gives me that pit in my stomach that's saying like, ooh, that's going to be tough to deal with. What's his name in progress go in the jungle to try and counteract it again? I have seen Susano plenty of times from Party Person. Could just be this Odin. This has also been a pretty popular jungler, but we'll have to see. Because again, Bacchus could just go support. Odin could go solo. Or what I believe is happening here, Odin jungle and Bacchus into the solo lane. Small switch up. Thanatos almost certainly has to go into the jungle. So maybe Bacchus support, Odin solo, and Thanatos jungle. This is still one of those picks, though, where Thanatos needs to pop off early, but that's the exact kind of play that I would expect from Party Person. Whereas, you know, Athena doesn't bring as much damage to the table, more setup. Thanatos can certainly hard carry the game away.
Perish. It matters not to me.
Now the pick.
In the end, it will.
Admittedly, Trelly, Thana was like one of the more frequently picked characters that I saw in those first few weeks of Smite 2. Maybe just out of necessity, but have not seen as much Thanatos. Tons of Loki, tons of Susano, maybe some of the more creative picks in the jungle, the repurpose supports, those sorts of things. We'll talk a bit more about the Thanatos early in the game. In game number 2, gotta win it here for name and progress. But remember, for food drive for Globe, this is a big one. You want to free up your weekend next weekend, qualify onto playoffs? If food drive for Globe are able to win game 2 here, they'll grab their 3rd win in the Swiss bracket and therefore promote themselves onto the playoffs. And the loser will have to play next weekend in our 2-2 matches. Loki up against Thana, Trelly. I'll ask the same question I did in game 1, but your answer's got to be a little bit different because Party Person is on a more traditional jungler this time.
I definitely prefer the Thanatos to the Athena, but Loki is still my favorite, like, hard carry jungler that's in Smite 2 currently. I just think he has so much ease of engage and ease of damage late game. But notably, isn't like the greatest level 1 through 5. Like, he does need itemization. Like, I think about 3-4 items is when Loki starts being a real threat. With Blink, you can definitely kill a mid laner. Like Kaidan is going to have to respect this Loki at all times. But same goes to Globe, right? Party Person opted to go for the Blink as well. So we could see some engages coming from this Thanatos. And I hope that we do see it, just because an early first blood could go very far here for name and progress. But remember, Valo, number 1, has already shown the ability to get active in duo. Number 2 is invading the red buff as we speak. Doesn't have a Sunder. Is opted to take this one away. All the while, Party Person just going for speed buff. So not going to notice this for quite some time, but might head over after doing some of these backs. If this goes unchecked, Valo's going to be in a good spot just to go back and get his own and then be ahead.
Well, it could be a face-to-face meeting, depending on the pathing here. Just gets away. Yeah, looks like was spotted. So now Party Person knows what's happened over in his jungle. Those early game sights will hurt a little bit. Globe clearly not worried. Knew that the Thanatos was there in his lane. The aggressive belly flop in for mid laner ST. Not a name that we said much in game number 1. Name in progress was going heavily on the back foot. Unless it was a bad thing, because just a brutal game for the duo lane. So even just an early bit of pressure feels nice for the name in progress duo lane here. Again, just got to keep my eyes on that jungle. And really, Trelly, and it was the early kills, but it was really that pace of Valo. I mean, it felt like, there you got 3 kills, but then just obliterated Party Person in farm. And that's where most of that level gap came up with. I imagine some of that, and maybe it's your words, that some of that is a bit easier when you got the Thanatos running around. But level 5 for both these junglers is going to be a big pivot point. And are there some clear options in your mind for where you want to see Party Person, where you want to see Valo go? Maybe Soul Lane is the answer. Plenty of damage out.
There it is.
And I'll answer my own question. Name and progress have rotated over to solo. And Party Person 1, 2, 3 got the start they were looking for in game 1, just delayed. And now it's a first blood for them.
Yeah, and you know, either side lane I would have been okay with, but playing through duo, would have been tough, especially because of how pushed up the own team is. Hostile Puppy taking a lot of damage. Can we see some bubble bounces come through? One stun might just do it. But look at the back line.
Yeah, Tigveer super low in the back now. Had to leap away. Both supports dishing out the damage in the early portion of this laning phase here. That damage burst caught me off guard. I imagine Hostile Puppy wasn't expecting the full rotation there from Happen, but gotta watch that positioning. Mid laner needs to as well. Globe. There a bit of pressure from party person 1, 2, 3. Valo lurking. Belly flop was still there for mid laner SD, so Bacchus will be okay for the time being. Double root kept things interesting. Valo won't find that long-awaited kill here. Much slower first 3 minutes in game 2 than we got in game 1.
I mean, that one first blood. Ooh, a little bit of trouble here, because guess what? Globe does have ult with the blink. Perfectly timed just to get party person out for now. And that's the benefit of picking up that blink. Much longer cooldown than any other relic, but can get you out of almost any situation once. That's going to be ult for blink trade. Not bad. Globe's happy to make that. Something else to consider. With Sands of Time into Chronos Pendant, Anubis really can get a kill something like every 55 seconds. It's ridiculous once you get some cooldown rate online from this pickup. It's why the Anubis has been pretty highly prioritized recently, especially in mid. Because if you do a relic roundup, it's usually just the mid laners, and that's what happened. Kaidan has Aegis. Everyone else is just going to have to get a shell on Hostile Puppy. Also, using that shell to get on out of the ultimate, but taking a lot of damage here. Almost forced airstrike. Gets to hold on to it, but Phantom Shell down. Something to consider once Happen gets that Rivers Review back up. But I already saw, party person get one gank over in right lane. Should be able to finish that Yone's Revenge or Tekko Kagi, something like that early on. I can't see that fall off though, Dave. We need party person getting active whenever possible. Just by the nature of, maybe sending out some ultimates over to side lanes, blinking in, finding some good sites. Like, this Thanatos cannot play passive early. I can't stress enough how much a Loki being in the game can put your squad on a timer.
Well, it's now hovering death time for party person, and that's where the little trades of damage become a lot more interesting in both of the side lanes over in mid lane. Can't be quite sure if there's a Thanatos ready to pounce just around the corner, because you've had a little bit of safety in the early portions of this game. Kaidan hoping to catch Globe. Able to change his position. This time the Loki making their way towards mid. Globe is gonna just be outside of execute threshold, but should be a stun on the other side anyway. Globe melted by Kaidan and party person. You called for it and you got it, Trelly. It's a hovering death and plenty of damage. Just no opportunity for Food Drive for Globe to counter gank over in mid.
And that's a great target to go for, because again, even though the ult misses from Kaidan, you still force Globe to get aggressive, and the hovering death, pulling that Aegis down, and 2 death sights to the face were enough to find a second pick there to Globe. This time Kaidan gets to pick that one up. But you do, in a game like Smite 2, even with early pressure like this, Gold Fury pull ability is ever so important. Even with a Bacchus and a Jingwei, it's not as if that Gold Fury is going to go down quickly. I put a lot more presence onto the side with an Anubis to be able to pull that gold, as opposed to, name and progress. So be keeping an eye on it, but party person still wants to find another gank on the Globe. 324 damage. That's a ton of Kaidan's ready to finish it.
Ow. 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 Sight?
Oh, there it is.
There he is. Walks forward, gets it. This is the same thing, but reversed from game number 1. Party person 1, 2, 3. Now a couple of kills. Got a little extra gold. But I'm going to throw a life raft out yet again, Trelly. Karmic is out farming Arc Atlas despite dying in lane. Valo out farming party person 1, 2, 3 despite being 2 kills and an assist down. Globe is behind at 0 and 2. And then a 1-level lead for both Happen and Tigveer. The farm pace has just been too strong for Food Drive for Globe. Just haven't seen those kills connecting just yet. So it could just be the same outcome, but more of a slow burn. And they are slight leads for Food Drive for Globe. Karmic with the opening and maybe closing ultimate there. But it's this trend of just being really good at farming for Food Drive for Globe that cannot have name and progress feeling safe with their lead at this point. Ring of Spears has kept Karmic in place. A little bit of healing, but an up-down's got to get it done here. Karmic can't escape, and party person 1-2-3 notches 1-2-3 for a killing spree in game number 2.
And that was a Phantom Shell used there by Karmic, so unless it just came off cooldown, was probably trying to greet it until party person was spotted out and was like, man, I definitely should have let that one go. Valo is over in solo lane for now. Does not want to take the 1v2. Does miss the death side, so party person actually might have to watch out here. Plenty of damage. Do you have the ultimate? Just barely. He's going in the one.
Goes back in. Whoa! Party person 1-2-3's got the damage and now 4 kills. Food Drive for Globe, though, itching for that first kill of the game. Got to get it here on the Kaidon in mid. They do. Really, it's the one lane that felt maybe the most behind. The 1 level deficit for Globe. Maybe closes up now with an extra wave of farm and a kill. And a needed rotation in there. That's happened on the Emojos, now left the 2-0 lane. This is where the game starts to break open though, Trelly. Both supports have left that side of the map. ADCs need to be careful of the teleports in. But we're gonna see Yemoja and Bacchus rear their head a bit more around the center and maybe the jungles of the map.
I am so surprised because from what I saw, Valo had Assassinate, which I'm pretty sure would have killed party person before he went up into the sky. Chose not to use it, and then definitely didn't expect the immediate hovering death, right? I think a lot of Thanatos players would have went into the sky and then hung around for a while just to see how Valo reacted. Party person just insta-slams it and confirms that 4th kill of the match. And again, Dave, in game number 1, this is what I was calling for, right? Get party person on something that can get aggressive, not like in Athena. No damage is really going to come out here. If anything, Globe should be in some trouble. If you are able to get that Intoxicate off, maybe you have some more damage coming your way, but not going to happen. Party person, can you find the dive here? Even through an Aegis, you might have it. He's
got the dive in. Uh-oh, but there's going to be a World Weaver in. It's just outside of tower range. Mid laner ST was in, but just a little bit of extra time means there could be a kill here for Valo. Assassinate through, gets the stun and the damage. Perfect return, though, by Kaidon. Awkward collapse here with the double. What a play! And gets out of the ring of spears. Kaidon, oh my goodness! This was a positive numbered fight for Name in Progress, but the damage and the rotations from Food Drive for Globe are carrying the rest of it. 3 down for 1. Food Drive for Globe have found their opening finally. Tegveer and Hostile Puppy go toe-to-toe. But the duo lane, the ADCs, remain 0-0s.
No ultimate available for either one of the carries there. Would have loved to see a World Weaver come out, but unfortunately not quite up yet. Means no more 1v1 scrapping. Beautiful play by Valo. I mean, the Assassinate to confirm the kill and the blink to get out of the spears immediately. And the rest of the team shows up. I've been waiting for these plays from Karmic because I think Mordred, one of the best solo laners at just rotating, right? Has that ultimate pursue the weak and get you across the map, goes through walls so quickly, but is sitting at 0-2, has taken a lot of presence from party person. Still, itemization-wise, level-wise, not doing too bad. Tied in XP, they're both sitting at level 11. And if anything, most gold in the game is going towards Karmic. So yeah, even though you've fallen down twice, it's still finding a ton of farm across the map. Definitely not bad. If you consider how much time party person has really put to being in solo lane so far.
It's that worrying turnaround now for Food Drive for Globe. Well, not for them, but for the opposing squad. You get the early kills and still find yourself down in gold. Is that your best chance for Name in Progress? 4-1, you can't get much better than that if you're party person 1-2-3. You got to keep things up in this next team fight. A Gold Fury may be considered. Both soul laners over on the right side of the map. Food Drive for Globe just backpedaling out of lane for a moment. Just looking for that opening opportunity. Could be a double stun, double knock-up, double ult. Everything from mid laner ST is perfect. Forced an Aegis out of Globe, and a hovering death. Oh, but Globe has stayed alive just a little bit longer. Ultimately, there is a kill here. Starts off with a mid lane death for Food Drive for Globe. Party person 1-2-3, quite low, and Happens got the last bit. So immediately traded out. And it's mid for jungle, and the fed jungle, I might add. The strong jungle for Name in Progress, the one who takes a seat.
A rotation here from Tegveer, but you found the tanks. Definitely not who you were looking for. Would have preferred to find Kaidan, but Hekate got out of trouble before the fight got too bad. I do love the aggression there from Party Person, but Globe immediately found the ultimate just to try and immune that stun, and then just got off as much DPS as possible. Of course, Kaidan had the finishing touch and confirms that kill, but to your point, getting the kills on a Party Person is worthwhile here for Food Drive for Globe. They already got the shutdown, and they're continuing to shut down this Thanatos. And that's one of the issues with Thana, is like you can get a trade pretty easily, but eventually you're going to get to the point where once your death scythe is down and you've already ulted in, you're probably going to fall down to the first instance of damage, which in most cases Globe and Valo have been providing. And it's only going to get stronger. Anubis and Loki don't mind one bit. Once again, a rotation in from Tegbeer towards mid lane. World Weaver's not quite available. And oh no, he's stuck on her tower.
Awkward.
Yeah, you don't want to get caged in a tower, and Valo had to assassinate defensively, which gives his name and progress the position to try and go for a Gold Fury pull here.
Karmic's going to teleport over to the left side of the map, so there's going to be a rotation through from the from the Food Drive for Globe Soul Laner. Speaking of Globe, hovering death, that's simple for Party Person 1, 2, 3. Remember that Aegis down for maybe a minute or two ago. Awkward game for Globe. 1 in 5 on the Anubis. It's been brutal. Party Person just picking apart the Food Drive for Globe mid laner. The namesake. Could Karmic make a difference though here? Couple items in. He's farmed relatively well. But 4 members of Name in Progress looking close. Oh, big ultimate! Is there enough damage though on the flip side? Not just yet. Name in Progress have the peel. Shell, great, but what now? Death, Party Person 1, 2, 3 with 6. Name in Progress, Charlie, have clawed their way back. Bring things back to right around even after Food Drive for Globe. We're starting to outpace them in the last few minutes.
Yeah, that was definitely I'm going to try and ult out, and unfortunately I got body block situation for Karmic. He wanted to go through the wall and escape, but beautiful play there from mid laner. Not only to body block, but also keep yourself alive. It's very low health bars coming through there for the duo lane, but they were able to live. All the while, Valo was just split pushing, so don't worry, I'll be the solo laner for a bit. I'm going to cover some of this farm, and I think that is the correct play. I already mentioned how much I think Loki is a threat and how much I think Loki does not need to win early. So just going to find farm can sometimes be the best option available. And Valo, as you can see, top XP per minute is definitely finding that farm. Party Person, though, is smacking up Gold Fury for the time being. Is anyone onto this? It seems like only Tegbeer is on the way, but Valo, here we go, happens on the way too. It's getting low though. Do they go for a 50-50?
Whoa, Food Drive for Globe. Are they going to be able to make it in time? Don't think so. Looks like Name in Progress will confirm the Gold Fury. Party Person 1, 2, 3 was half HP. If that rotation was just a bit quicker from Food Drive for Globe, could have made for a big team fight, maybe an opportunity to finally grab another kill. Onto the Thanatos. Karmic ever lurking in the jungle. Smordred now hit a few items. Well underway in the build is Valo as well. It's been a slower game, Shelly, for Valo, but certainly not a bad one. 2 and 1. And at times, 2-level lead, but call it 1.5 as that farm has really kept up. Globe has just caught the brunt of most of this, it feels. The Anubis has just been caught out a few times. A tough matchup into the Thanatos. You know, getting underway in that build though, about halfway there. 1 in 5 Trelly, maybe not fully indicative of the amount of damage that Globe's going to be able to do.
I mean, not yet. I don't mind falling down as Anubis either. It just becomes much more difficult to step up to things like a Bacchus or an Odin or a Hekate. You'll have the damage as long as your front line can step forward, which Happen's been doing well, has a 2-level lead. There's a Pyromancer started up. Arc Atlas already has the flank, and Happen's just sitting here. We saw Loki show up. Mid laner's getting very low, and Valo is looking for that possible flank. Pyromancer not being reset. If anything, some damage is coming its way, but Valo found a more attractive target. It looks like trying to find Hostile Puppy, maybe where his potential's at.
And Valo still has ultimate, so this airstrike, actually not even going to need to use the Assassinate. That's a simple one for Valo. Hostile Puppy had plenty of damage, but only for Tegveer. Was not expecting the rotation in. Upbring Death doesn't connect for a stun. Oh, Blink Sight! It all misses! In a forgettable moment for Party Person 1, 2, 3. You blink in to make the play and you miss your abilities. Valo now has taken. What has happened in the last 2 minutes? A 3-level lead? They were 1 level difference. A moment ago, Valo has found the opening and made full use. Mid laner left running, stun. Onto mid laner, the support. Oh, that one confusing. This could be another one for Valo. It's Tegvir instead, but man, Trelly, it's just falling apart out of nowhere for Name in Progress. Oh, and Kaidon trapped in the River's Rebuke. This is unreal. Globe with another kill. Everyone but Arc Atlas has died at some point in the last minute.
In the wrong place at the wrong time. And again, I think this all stems from Thanatos is a difficult god to perform on. If you miss one site, it doesn't matter if you're 20-0. That's it, right? That is your engage. That is all that you really play for. Same with something like an Execute. If you go in and you can't find it. And unfortunately, it was that one slip up that sort of starts a conveyor belt effect here from Name in Progress. They try to go for the Pyromancer. Arc Atlas can't quite body block. Which means Karma gets to zoom on out of there.
Zoom is just too funny.
Yeah, it's great. And if you can't get in front of it, it is the best get out of jail free card you can have. Loeb is just ulting Pyromancer though. Does he have anyone else with him? Yes, okay. There was a Loki around. I was gonna say, you're just trying to solo it. Luckily Valo was there to help with the DPS. It means Pyromancer has dropped. And that means a Runic Bomb is in pocket for Food Drive for Globe if anyone decides to go over and pick it up. But for now, that is going to be your best confirmation towards an objective. I mean, if you want to talk about low potential steal, Pyromancer will certainly help. There is a rotation coming though. Hostile Puppy ult in. That should be your Cypher Tech to get out of trouble, but can you make it?
Whoa! Oh, nearly had enough damage to at least go 1 for 1. I was thinking there's no way Hostile Puppy has enough damage here, but at damage in numbers, Karmic tanking up this tower. Arc Atlas just gonna stand outside of his ring of spears. Look at that healing and shielding from Karmic. No problem for the Mordred. Arc Atlas can use the teleporter. Really, Valo doesn't know because... Oh, Karmic followed him! He's just on this side of the map now! Ah, jump scare! And now Valo's here with Assassinate. Over the wall he goes, stun, and another. Valo ripping through Name in Progress. Kaidon trades back, solo lane and duo lane.
Fire?
Very different sides of the battle. Different sides of the map. Could be a fire grouping here, Trelly. You're right, Name in Progress. Find their way around the objectives. This could be your way back into the game.
Definitely could be. Already started up. Doesn't seem like anyone is going to be able to get to this side of the map.
Simple.
Yeah, Tegvir is probably going to head over towards Goldfree if I had to guess. Positioning-wise, there's some low health bars, but not enough.
All right.
Try and go in. You got Fire Giant on 4. Food Drive for Globe should be able to return with their first Gold Fury of the game. Karmic just ulting away to try and find farm in the meantime. I mean, you have such a lead if you Food Drive for Globe. You definitely don't want to bring your whole team over the left side of the map and then lose a fight over there. But end of the day, it's what happens. So now you got to deal with Fire Giant on 4. And Name in Progress can try and stall this game out because I alluded to it earlier, but this Jingwei pickup does just get much better with time. It takes a bit, but once she gets online, is an absolute menace. And that's probably what they've been hoping for. Just waiting for Hostile Puppy to be able to match the DPS of someone like Tegvir. And we are approaching that point, Dave. Maybe I would say 1 to 2 more items like a kin size. And then, you know, another attack speed item. And Hostile Puppy will be shredded.
Just waiting for those big power spikes. That's what Name in Progress have to rely on. They've got FG. To your point, Trelly, maybe just more of a delay tool. Love the turnaround, though. This game has had a bit of everything. Feels like Name in Progress had that dream jungle start. It's a little messy towards the middle of the game. Still down by 5,000 gold, but perfect objective calling on the rotation right. Get the kill. You can go over to FG. Valo again. I was going to say fastest to level 20. Didn't see where Karmic or Kaidon or anyone else got to level 20, but I have to imagine with the speed that Valo farms, he's probably the first one there here in this game. It's just going to keep pushing down that tier 2 on right. So you're not going to have one of your strongest team members. But you are going to get the tier 2 faster. Valo gets it before Name in Progress are able to. Uninhibited over on right. Going to keep going. Interesting. So can you delay the backs now? Maybe that's the name of the game for Food Drive for Globe.
Arc
Can't
Atlas is
delay
already
Arc
back.
Atlas. Your Odin has gone back to base. But this is that fun kind of dance. You can maybe now go back if you're Valor. Surprise the other team. Collapse in onto a fight. Shoot your way right up through mid. Opportunities abound, and it's an opening initiation from Karmic. Grabs 2, and there's a River's Rebuke on the backside of the fight as well. Hovering Death has 2 targets. Karmic is the one chosen. Party person 1, 2, 3 immediately trades out. And it's messy over on left, but watch out. Valo still in here behind this fight. Can you insta-gib someone? Won't have the opportunity. 2-for-1 trade, name and progress slightly ahead.
I like that call from Valo just to give up and immediately try and cut off. Unfortunately, because of a good execute, name and progress team ended up winning, or at least not losing so much that they were retreating. And Valo didn't really have an opportunity to go in there. He gets some extra gold in his team's pocket. Speaking of, name and progress able to grab a tier 1 off the map. Remember, this is their Fire Giant, and they have a good bit of gold in hand already, which they have not been able to spend up. That's going to help equal up at least some of that. Happen stepping forward, though. Doesn't want the Pyromancer to go down for free. Unfortunately for Happen, might not have a choice in the matter, because Arc Atlas is also zoning nearby. You don't really want the level 20 Odin to walk up on you, so I can see why you just go ahead and grab that Runic Bomb and take it away. Now, there's mirrored Runic Bombs. Both the supports are hanging on to them. So pay attention once we see next Fire Giant run through. Whether it's mid laner or Happen, they both have the opportunity to try and go in for a steal. But with that being said, level 20 starts to become very important, Dave. Party person hasn't quite hitting that mark. Globe has not quite hitting that mark. All the other carries are in that position where they're able to upgrade their starter items, start to become a threat. But remember, Valo wasn't really in that fight. He was essentially just split pushing. This Loki's got full Heartseeker online, Titan's Bane for some pen, and the Soul Reaver, which means the poke from this Loki is gonna start to add up, just chunking your HP. And that's just, if you're standing anywhere near the decoy, you're gonna be feeling the brunt of that.
Gold Fury split 1 apiece. Name and progress will take the advantage. They're second of the game. Remember what's at stake here. Either game 3, if Name and Progress are able to win, or Food Drive for Globe able to win this game. They progress right on to our playoff stage. Don't have to participate in the 2-2 matchups next weekend. Loser of this best of 3, not out of it. You'll have to play in those 2-2 matchups next weekend. You make it to 3, you're on. You lose 3, you're out. Food Drive for Globe would love to just get it done here and avoid a game 3. These are those tough games that in a couple weeks when we see the top teams playing, we look at the playoffs and we say, hey, remember when they were slightly ahead or behind and were able to pull out a win? These are the types of games that we look back and reference. The game has now fully been equalized. That Fire Giant, massive for Name and Progress. They were behind by 4, 5, 6,000 gold. Sort of in this team fight, ahead by that much maybe, because Valo's over on the left side of the map, so numbers advantage-wise, gold in team fight-wise, well, just by team numbers, Name and Progress have the advantage.
It really does seem like Food Drive for Globe is they feel confident. Oh my goodness, already the party person got it to 4v5.
Oh my god, now it's equalized, and yeah, if you're Valo, just keep on running down the left side of the map. The one worry is that your team loses a 5v4 on the opposite side of the map, but somehow Food Drive for Globe have won in a 5v4. Now they have the opportunity to continue to step forward. Valo's still over on left. 4v3 now over on right. Hion has had to go back to base. Mid laner ST burned down. And could this be that opening in game number 2 that is hand-delivered to Food Drive for Globe and wrestled control right back to the Chaos side?
There is vision here for Name and Progress, but you got to look at the positioning. Looks like Jingwei will fly into Hostile Puppy. Could go in for a steal, but might be too little too late. I don't even think they're going to path this way with Valo standing menacingly in the front line. Yeah, Fire Giant goes the way of Food Drive for Globe uncontested. And you know what? I don't even hate what Party Person did. When you're in a 5v4 and Loki's split pushing, you got to try and force the engagement. It just sinks that he goes in and doesn't get up to the sky. Maybe you have a much better chance at fighting if Thanatos gets up, but there wasn't anyone else with him. Seems like he just dove the backline on his own. And I don't know if you've noticed his build, but he's not tanky, right? This is a full damage Thanatos. You don't want to be surrounded by carries really ever if you're Thanatos, if they are not low HP. And because of that, what should have been an advantageous position for Name in Progress ends up working extremely well for Food Drive for Globe. And if Kaidon somehow gets his backstop, you're definitely losing a Phoenix in that situation. So props on him for finding a way to get back in time. And now, Food Drive for Globe. Got time to push up slowly with Fire Giant on all 5 members. And again, Valo has not been part of the fight. It's lowest player damage by a wide margin so far. All of this farming that Loki has done really has not culminated in anything just yet. It's been a whole lot of split push, but I want to see this Loki get involved now that Food Drive for Globe's got fire.
About 100 XP per minute higher than anyone else in the game. It doesn't really matter now. Most everyone's a level 20. Except for mid laner ST, the support for Name in Progress. Just gives you an idea of the farm level of Valo. Bit of an awkward collapse here.
Yep.
And okay. Valo jumps up in the damage charts by a few thousand in one fell swoop. And it's just a one-shot onto the Bacchus, who didn't even get a chance to get the ultimate off. Is that the game-ending moment? That's the question, because 30 seconds left. Maybe that Bacchus comes back. Not wanting to force the issue, though, our Food Drive for Globe. Valo just waiting on that Assassinate to come back off of cooldown. Man, that is awkward. And you almost miss it. You look at one side of the map, you look at something else on the screen. Suddenly the Bacchus is dead, and that's made this push real simple.
Laner back in 8 seconds. Tier 2 will drop, and the Tier 1 has already been gone through. So Phoenix is the next target here for Food Drive for Globe. As you said, Assassinate was the wait, and it's already back up. There's the Neathole. Kaidon already hurting for certain, but he gets a nice pull back in.
Karmic stuck in the back, up, down. From party person 1, 2, 3. Is this the death cry or the resurgence for Name in Progress? A little bit of both right now. Food Drive for Globe, they're low, they're half HP, but Name in Progress, they're more. Valo steps forward, everyone burnt down, and Arc Atlas, the last bit of hope in this game, everyone low! But Arc Atlas does not have enough damage to spread out. Food Drive for Globe can chase down that final kill. May be able to just end the game with their minions.
Man, that pick was big, and some low health bars for sure, but the respawn timers are too massive. You get one wave in, and then you let Globe go through, and guess what? Death Gauge is back up, and Anubis ult should be wrapping this one up. My goodness, quite a back and forth game this time around. Much more competitive than game number 1, but at the end of the day, Food Drive for Globe comes out on top, and I mean, didn't jump too high in the damage charts, but Valo, I'm telling you, man, just needed to get to level 20. That was the call. I am not going to help you guys. Good luck. And props to the team for not only not caring about that, but succeeding while he was gone. Like when you're able to send your jungler to just get farm, hit level 20 and get full build, and you can still at least hold the enemy team at bay and even get a pick.
Get a kill.
That's a big deal. And that's unfortunate there for Name in Progress.
I mean, it's kind of it's the opposite of what we saw in game 1. Valo involved early and often and non-stop in steamroll, snowballs, sneeball. I don't know how I was going to say that, but a mix of the two, a steamroll and a snowball in game 1. And then in game 2, I mean, there certainly were some kills, but it was largely that obnoxious split push style. Love to see it for Food Drive for Globe here, Trellian. So that is their 3rd win in the Swiss stage. They finished their Swiss stage at 3-1, progress on to our playoffs. And I don't think much of a surprise based on how we saw this team perform early.
Yeah, this is a squad that once we saw them upset Scrumptious, we were like, okay, we got to keep our eyes on these guys for sure, because that is not an easy task for sure. And because they were able to do that, took a spill last week and then stamped their ticket to playoffs, which means we won't see them play for close to a month at this point, which means they can sit back and just sort of observe the competition and try and learn, you know, what else the meta is going to shake up on, because something that we've been bringing up, Dave, is the fact that there's new gods added to this game pretty consistently. You know, a lot of new content, a lot of new updates, and you have to be able to adapt with those updates to stay on top. You can't just like take a break and come back in a month and expect the game to be at the same point it was when you left. So the teams that are able to put in the work in between now and then are the ones that are going to be absolutely crazy to deal with in Vegas.
Yeah, the addition of new gods consistently is just as impactful to our picks and bans as well. Because remember, we just have that one ban slot right now. And look at what Baron has done already this week. Baron is in and suddenly now takes all of the bans, and that's opened up whether it's a Bacchus or a Fenrir or Nodin. You know, you kind of got to pick and choose around what had been those permabanned gods. Well, if it's going to be Baron now, you got to adapt around compositions with those other ones.
Right.
Now available. It's a really good look for Food Drive for Globe. Again, no surprise in my opinion. One of the top teams here in North America. Name in progress, though. I don't think game one is gonna inspire much confidence. Even in a loss, you know, I'm not a huge fan of like moral victories, but I think your way of getting back into the game here, if you're a name in progress against a very talented team in North America, should at least inspire some confidence in your do or die matchup next weekend. Let's see how the North American bracket is shaken out just a little bit further up to this point. And it's the 2-0 for Food Drive for Globe. So name in progress, they are not out of the Swiss stage just yet. They'll move into that 2-2 matchup. And we still have a few more matchups here in the 2-1 box that we're looking forward to. Secret Service will play first name Zach. Again, all of these matchups in that yellow square right there for a spot in the playoffs. And then tomorrow we'll have your 1 and 2 matchups in that bottom box, and the teams that lose that are out of the running in this Swiss bracket. Again, Borscht is the one that's surprising to me, and you'll have to keep your eyes on that one later on here this weekend. But Food Drive for Globe officially punched their ticket. Team name but with 5 M's and Cowabunga have been able to find their way into the next matchup. So we've got another matchup just around the corner here for you, Trelly. And typically, we've had to wait a little bit longer. But hey, the good news is you're not going to have to wait that long. 5 or so minutes, we'll be able to get the next matchup on board for you here. But the competition's starting to heat up now, Trelly. We're 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th week of the Swiss stage. But then remember, we had the qualification stage earlier on. And it's interesting watching some of the rosters really shake themselves out now. It's a lot of speculation early into Smite 2. And consistent rosters now starting to establish themselves. And again, got to gas up the team that goes 2-0. And this one seems like a consistent roster that I expect to do some good things in Smite 2.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I think the squads that stayed together since the start of the tournament and continue to improve and continue to, upset some of these higher end teams. Food Drive for Globe has proven that they are very clearly top 4 and, possibly even higher than that given the right weekend. So any situation like that, they're going to be able to grow even more, and they're going to be an absolute threat to some of these top end teams. So, congrats to them on stamping their ticket to playoffs, but I can't wait to see more from them.
I'm looking at who's a Cowabunga. That's SOT, Panatom, Paul, Aurora, Yark. That feels unfair, right? Not in a legitimate way. That's just such a good team.
Yep.
And think to like how exciting those 2-0 matches were to watch.
Yep.
We're going to get to do that at playoffs and then in December and then at Vegas. Smite 2 is a whole lot of fun in the way these teams carry some history from Smite 1, but some newcomers come to play. Really exciting to watch and leave some intrigue on the board for the rest of the teams. We've got another North American matchup just around the corner. Another 2-1 matchup. The winner on to playoffs. The loser has to play for their lives or for playoffs next weekend. Stick around 5 or so minutes and we'll be into our second matchup here in NA.